Hey guys, welcome to another amazing episode on LifePod with CEE. I am super excited today, as always, to have you with me, to have all of you here with me. And as you already can see, I have an amazing person here with me. He's my friend and my brother. Before I introduce you, I'd love to introduce something. On my podcast, I decided to start something new. It's a new segment I decided to start called Conversations. So the whole idea is to have people around where, because I figured out that it's not every time that there are some topics that I want to discuss, there are some things that I want to discuss about, but I don't exactly have a topic for it. So I just said, okay, let me have this segment where we'll just come, talk about stuff, talk about life, hear people's stories. Because really, that is what the podcast is about, LifePod with CEE, where we draw inspiration from daily experiences and kind of suggest ways to navigate them. That's the whole idea. And like I said, I'm super excited. I'm honored even to have you here with me. Ladies and gentlemen, he is none other than Williams Abule.
Thank you so much.
Welcome,
thank you, Chima,
for
having me.
Thank you so much for making out time. I know your schedule can be very, very interesting sometimes. In fact, it was last minute that we finally firmed up the plan to be on the show today, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure being here.
It almost feels like another heritage news.
Oh yeah, that is true.
For those
Very
of you who
true.
don't know, we go to the same church and we're literally in the same department.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it's heritage news all over again.
Yeah.
But then again, I have never been on the same segment with you at the same time.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
But again, I'm very grateful. I'm very glad to have you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. So, let's start off right away. Let's kick off right away. And we're going to be talking about life, basically. We're going to be talking about life generally, everything in between. Life as a young person growing up, disappointments that you've encountered, basically, and where you are today. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, he's married. A young man who is married.
Well, I've always been an advocate for young people getting married really early. And then, getting married at the age I did marry.
What age did you get married?
Well, I got married at 37.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got married at 37. For me, that was already late. Now, before then, it wasn't late to me. I thought it was fun being single until that time. But now that I'm, in my early 40s, like it's now more like I now feel like that was a late hour decision. I should have done it much earlier. By my calculation now, I should have done it when I was in my late 20s, if I had my way, late 20s. In fact, this is how I look at it now. If you graduate early from school, get a good job, not necessarily a great job too, just something that can feed you maybe 2 extra mouths, I think you should just make the decision.
Okay, so let me hold you right there so that we don't jump the gun.
Yeah.
So, growing up, how would you describe Williams Abule when we talk about growing up? Like maybe your family setting, your upbringing, and how it has shaped you today. How would you describe Williams Abule?
Well, I would say that. Well, I come from a polygamous home. My family was there. Don't be saying all those things in public, but we're no longer children. So I say it everywhere. I come from a polygamous home. My mom is the second wife of the house, and we're 3 boys from my mom, while my stepmom had 8 children. So you can imagine how huge my family was, and we were the youngest ones. So at a very early age, I had left my mother to live with one of my older sisters in the north. So I didn't grow up with my biological parents. I grew up with my sister, and then that later got married to her then fiancé, and then I grew up with them, and I spent roughly about 20 years of my life with them. Yes, that was really long. I stayed with them, and so I had experience growing up in the northern part of Nigeria. Then I moved to the west, Lagos precisely, and then before I came back to the south to continue.
So we can say you've been around Nigeria.
Sort of. And I love traveling. So yes, I think it was those early experiences that, opened me up to loving, moving around. And so today, if you tell me, Williams, can we make a trip to Abuja, road trip, I would jump at it because I love all of those kind of experiences. So yeah, so that's how I grew up. So I spent more time living under my sister and her husband's care, like foster parents. I still call them mom and dad till today. Oh. Yes, so I have two mothers, and my dad is late, but then I still have one more father out there. So more like now, if you ask how all of that shaped me, I think the people I grew up with are very empathic about human beings. They are very welcoming. They are very homely, gentle, very, very slow to reacting in anger. I'm just describing the man that I am because that's how I now became. Yes, and they are very hospitable. So my sister and her husband are those kind of people where if they see someone stranded, they don't mind telling you to come and stay in their house until you get yourself back and then you go. So I'm that open to people. So it's when I became more aware of myself as an adult, it was when I learned how to say no to people self. Because most of the time when you ask me for a favor, I want to help you. I want to do, I want to this, I want to that, but later on in life, growing up to becoming an adult and more aware of myself, I realized that how much people can you really help? So that has now helped me to now say no to some people. But all of that is from, my experiences growing up. And so if they say, okay, how do you see people? For me now, because of the fact that I've had my growing up experience in the north, in the west, and then in the south, I think I'm more open to people, generally Nigerians, northerners, westerners. I have an idea of how they all embrace people. So yeah, all of those things just form the man that I am. Yeah.
Okay, so I would love for you to touch on this, even though not necessarily in depth.
Yeah.
In what way would you say that the family setting you have has influenced you?
Okay.
Like, are you because it's interesting to know that you are from a polygamous home, and yet you are an advocate for marriage. I mean, you tell me almost every other day, Chima, when I get married.
Yeah.
So how? Because it is not very common with people, and this is not to shade anybody, but it is not very common. Anybody or some people who are from that setting of polygamous arrangement, you find that they are not very enthusiastic about marriage, or it's not something they're exactly looking forward to. So how would you say that kind of setting has shaped your mind, and what were the decisions you took that brought you to where you are today?
Interesting. Well, I've not spoken about this anywhere before, but then growing up to realize that, my mom is not the only wife in this household. So that woman is my dad's other wife. So all these people that I've been calling my siblings are not really my mom's children. It was like a shock for me at first. And then sometimes I don't want to put it like, I don't want to think that I got discriminated at by my siblings, other siblings. But then whether you like it or not, the more senior ones, older ones that have experienced, maybe the pain their mom felt when another wife was coming in, will not like you. So some of them will not hide their feelings. They will, show it in certain ways. And yes, I've experienced that too. And the feeling that, in certain places where you go and you get introduced as my half-sibling and all of that. And then sometimes to certain things that are due you won't come to you, not because of wickedness, but because they just know that, oh man, this one, maybe he's not deserving enough. If to say on a no been there, good. So all those kind of things happened. And for me, till today as an adult, I don't really enjoy or love the idea of, two-wife polygamy and all of those things. It's not my thing. I don't like it. So if you're asking me if it shaped some ideologies in me, yes, it did. And one of those is that I cannot, if it happens, say you hear one day say, they go marry another wife. It's not possible. I can't. And because the sibling rivalry, not that anybody's dragging anything, but there are certain times you hear comments that are flying around that will really put you off. That reminds you that, oh, you're my half sibling, and maybe certain things will not come to you. But I must say kudos to my father and my stepmom. I don't know if my own siblings, like the siblings from my side, if they have the same experience, but me, I lived around my stepmom for about, I think about 3 years before she passed. Somehow, when I came back from the north, we met in Lagos, and they were in Lagos with us for, I think, about 2 years. And then I lived, only myself, my dad, and her. We lived in an apartment. And in those times, she was really nice to me. Me. I'm saying my own experience. I don't know about
others, yeah.
So, yes, I don't have any bad experience of her. And my dad, too, would always remind me that, this is your mother, respect her. And I just grew up loving and respecting her, even though I was very young. So I'm saying that for stepmothers that are really kind and nice, maybe it will make some others feel like, oh, maybe. But then my half-siblings, the experience is not equal for all of them. But yes, but some of them have become parents to me. Like, they have shown me love beyond what my dad could ever even give to me. So yes, those ones I hold very dearly, and I really respect, and I am grateful for all that show of love. Yes, so most of my siblings, if you see them with me, you will never know that we're half siblings unless you're hearing. Even till tomorrow, that's how we relate. Wow. But internally, sometimes they throw you shades and you feel it. But I think generally we all love each other. But if you ask me if I would ever think of, no. I don't subscribe to polygamy. It's too troubling. I'm always thinking, like, as a man, even one wife is trouble enough.
I'm telling you, like,
how is it possible that you want to now add 2, 3, and then plus the row around taking care of children?
Yeah.
And then even if you say you have plenty properties, you now start to share. And even when you share equally safe and you're not there again, how can you really control how the dynamics will play out in the house? So growing up, that's one of the things I took out of this polygamy thing, that it can never happen to me. It started and ended with my parents. Yeah. It will not cross to me. And so in marriage, I try to ensure that things that will lead or will make it look as though you're going that direction never happens. Mm-hmm. So I avoid that. And I always tell my wife that the day I married you is the day we will be together forever, because I will never. See, even if you try to divorce me, I will not divorce you. We must be married. We must be. No, but then that's how I look at marriage. Like, I got in with 100% commitment, and I'm not thinking, except death do us part. Yeah, that's it for me. Except death do us part. But the story of saying, hey, love is not sweet enough. There's one fine girl outside that looks like you. It's it will not happen. So that's my stance generally.
That's very great. That's very great. So now we're going to move on a bit. We're going to move on. So growing up, entering into, I know that there are a few stories that you have shared with us at the studio.
Yeah.
I want you to share it with us,
okay,
if you don't mind. Like, what was it like, the whole, when you got to the relationship scene, the dating scene, what was that period like? And how did you navigate through to this point where you say, you know what, this is where I am now. It is now this woman.
Yeah. So this, I like this question because I'm an advocate of, like I said, young people getting married early. Even though I'm saying that out of the fact that I later realized that it is the best thing to do for a young person. Mm-hmm. So most of us were always focused on, because of how difficult the economy and life has now become, we want to plan the marriage before we get in. So it's not a bad thing to do, But when you start planning and maybe the plan is not really summing up in good time, I believe you should now join a partner that will help you. Now, take up a partner that will help you build. Sometimes the breakthrough and the grace that you're looking for will come from that partner. So let's go back to your question as regards how I got to, to the point to now make the decision. So I was dating my now wife. We dated for about 3 years. And in that 3 years, I did not even see her as it's just one girl that we like to hang around with. But she was so crazy about me. And then she would do things like, write the names of our children.
Wow.
On paper and then share with me. And I'll be like, what is wrong with this girl? She's desperate. She's stuck. I would tell her, look, in fact, I would go to my friends and say, this girl want to force me into something. I don't want it. So for those 3 years, that's how I looked at her. And one day, I just woke up and realized, oh boy, don't they old though? What's going on? There was this longing to start a home that I got inside of me. And then the search to either see her as a wife material. Or, no, in fact, she was not. I don't see her as wife. I say no. This one no. She no go follow, because my wife is the exact opposite of me. And every man will have a picture of the wife in their hand. The girl must be fair. Yeah. She must be from Edo State, or she must be a Bini girl. She must also be smart. I had it. My own, in fact, let me tell you my own. If she ever listens to this, she'll be laughing, because I used to tell, but then again, it's not like people were not even coming for her in these 3 years. She's beautiful. My wife is really pretty and has presence and very, very open and friendly. So you can imagine that a lot of people were coming for her. So whenever she comes to tell me that, somebody wants to go to my village next weekend to ask for my hand in marriage, I said, allow him to go now. What's going on? Let him go and marry you now. She will cry and say, you don't love me. I said, I love you, but you cannot wait for me. I'm not ready. Go and marry. She'll say, okay, I'm going. I will tell the guy to go. Later, she'll come and tell me, I didn't tell him to go again. No. I said, so why? He said, nothing. I just feel like I cannot stay with that man. I said, so who do you want to stay with? He says, you. I know you're my husband. And I'm like, see this girl. Now you go, they toast me. I be man. Typical. So it went on. And my list was, I wanted a fair girl, a tall, fair girl, at least of same height with me. And she must be walking. And then she must be pretty, and she must be Igbo. I cannot marry any other tribe. I wanted Igbo, simply because I believe that Igbo women are very industrious. They're very hardworking. And since I thought that marriage is about partnership and support, I wanted a woman that would be able to, take on that role.
Shout out to the Igbo people.
Igbo Kwenu.
Okay.
I see that. Yeah, in fact, it will shock you that even before I met my wife, I'd never dated any other tribe. Wow. It was just Igbo. I was so into them.
You were that focused.
Yes, I really. And it was even before I made the decision to be with my wife, as to marry her. I met a girl shortly. When you want to make this decision, many things will happen. I met a girl before that time that I thought would have knocked out my wife, because that one, she was everything. Igbo, walking, beautiful. Then when it was now time for me to make a decision, she now told me she was, relocating to Lagos for one film school or something. I tried to check if she would, stay. Maybe she's the wife that God has sent to me. Yeah. But she was so excited about that part of her life, and she wanted to pursue it. So somehow I let her go, and then all my focus fell back to my wife. And then I now went back to check the list I made. Say, come, this girl, how far? Is there anything here that looks like her?
Remedy.
I checked, and then I just noticed that, she was really the beautiful girl that I was talking about. She was, almost my height, or just slightly taller than me too. Wow. And then she was working then. She's been working for about 5 years. That's at the time I met her. What else? Her family was really portable, because Baba, I was checking all those things. So
exactly. You know where you're coming from.
And I talked about also in your head, you say you want to plan, your home. So if you're planning, you don't want to jump into, if maybe you're not financially very capable, you don't want to jump into a relationship where your wife's family has like 10 people that are dependent on her. So I checked that too. Our family was quite portable and everybody was doing their thing. I said, correct. And then what else? Her mom too was really kind. The family was really kind to me.
Wow.
So when I checked all these things, I was like, it's like, I will marry this girl. The moment I made that decision, I didn't stop. I went on to engage her. And this was like 4 months to the time we now got married.
Wow.
From that time, I engaged her. I'd gone to married classes, and then we got married in December of that year. And I was really glad I made that decision, because this is 5 years now, and it was now clear to me how God led me there, because I'm imagining that if I had made, another decision that is different from where I am now, I wonder what that would have been, because my wife is the other side of me. I'm the gentle, slow guy to doing some crazy things. My wife, she just do, body don't catch action. Now everything is in order. And then most times she will spur me into doing things that maybe I would have taken a lot of time brooding over. I would have been saying, okay, I need to. Even now, I still do it.
Let me plan.
She will say, do it now. In fact, sometimes she goes ahead to activate the action.
Wow.
For me to now follow. Cool. Yeah. So you see how God blends this thing, and I mean, it has been awesome. So if you're out there, you're young, and you're finding it difficult to make that decision, it doesn't take anything. And the other part of the story is that I didn't have any money the day I made the decision. I still didn't have any money the day I married her. It was now after the wedding was when God now opened my eyes and said, boy, now you have a family, you need to feed them. Start. Anything, just start. I started doing stuff. Okay, then I was bolting, doing boat ride. I hope this is not an ad for them, but then I was bolting. Then I had a car. I was bolting, and so we used that money to feed. And then I started doing other jobs. I've been doing branding jobs, on the low, but then I increased it, and so I've been doing all of that plus my media jobs and all of that. And then God has kept us, and in fact, there are many things we've done in the marriage that I was thinking that if I was single, I probably thought maybe I would have done more, but it's not true. It's not true. I think marriage has helped me do even more. Even more. Yes, even more than when I was single. That's why I'm saying that planning too much to get married, they spoil the thing. Just make the decision, get married. See, it will work. In fact, if a truck pusher that earns 5K every day can get married, give birth to 2-3 kids inside this truck pushing 5K per day thing. What thing you can they do now? They earn maybe 300K. You still they plan marriage. You they plan them. You they do list. They say you never find the girl. They say. So most times you don't need all that. In fact, the way the Bible recommendation for marriage, you don't even need to love. Yes, you don't even need to be compatible. Just marry first. All of those things will work out. But we have all changed it, so it makes it really difficult for us to make the decision now. So yeah. So if you're out there, please, if you have a good woman around you, just marry. In fact, if you've been with the woman for 1 year and you did not leave her and you've not torn your shirts, nobody is going crazy. Nobody's going crazy. And then maybe the family people, they've not slapped you or told you one thing. Just marry that girl. You don't even need money. In fact, if anybody tells me, bet me I need money to get married, I will bet. I will bet. Even if it's 100,000, I bet and tell you, you don't need money. What you need is decision. Just the decision. Money will come from north, south, east, west to sponsor that one.
So let's make this particular, because I wouldn't want us to dwell here for long, but let's make this particular conversation more practical.
All right.
Or more practical. I hope I never speak nonsense.
No.
Let's make this conversation more practical.
Right.
When you say you don't need money just to get married, I want to, I understand what you're saying. Really, I do, but I want it to be more. I want us to put it in a more practical way, because when you say you don't need money, are you saying you don't need money as per? Sometimes when we say we are looking for money, we are looking for a particular bank balance or bank account, or are you saying you don't need money, but at least you need a stable source of income?
Sure.
So what? Tell me. Let's make it more practical.
So let me even use my own story now. So the time I made a decision to get married, I was doing both.
Okay.
And in my savings from that boat, I don't think I had up to 400,000 naira in my account. But after I engaged my now wife, my car broke down. Like, the engine got knocked. And as at that time, my car engine was around 700,000 naira.
Wow. I didn't have up to 400.
I said I did not have up to 400. I remember when I told my wife that my engine has knocked, she started crying and said, okay, we should postpone the wedding since that is the only means of livelihood at that time. I said, no, I'm not doing that. But at that time, I'd already printed some cards and I was giving it to friends, families, associates, people. And somehow, the way, I don't know whether it's an unwritten rule in the universe that once you pronounce marriage, the universe pulls forces to help you. God himself in heaven begins to bring people. So when I say you don't need money,
so this was your personal experience?
Yeah, this was my personal experience. And this personal experience of mine has been the experience of most people that took the bold step to make that move. Now, so you don't need money, but of course you've been growing, relationships with people. So when you say you want to marry, do you know that 10,000 naira times, let's say maybe you have around 50 people that will give you 10K. You're already married, my brother. Unless you want a big party. Me, I didn't want a big party. In fact, I had made a list of about 80 persons that will come to my wedding reception. I made a list. One of my brother came. my brother that is now my father. He said, who did they make this list for? Come on list, only me go bring 80 people. You understand? And family, friends. Well, at the end of the day, resources came from every corner, including people that I didn't expect that would give me money. They gave me money for that wedding. And I didn't owe one kobo after the wedding. I had around 500K as change from the wedding to say, okay, if you want to start life, start. I had a lot of gifts, family house gifts that you can use to start. Although I had a one-bedroom flat furnished already that I was living in, but then a lot of those things came in handy and it helped. So I'm saying that you don't need money because once you announce you're getting married, people will come from every corner. The universe will pull help to you. So, and then when you're in the marriage now, if the fear is, how am I going to feed? Mind you, like I said, you're no longer alone. You now have two heads. So that's where the selection or the choice of a wife,
kind of person.
Before you make the decision comes in. So that's why I say if you have found the person that meets the very strongest criteria that you put on the table, marry that person. No waste time. See, because everything that you dreamed of that will happen will now start to take shape. Once you cross, the two heads will start to work as one, and it will always produce good results. I'm telling you, it will always produce good results. So the days where your brain used to deceive you that you're not productive, your partner will open your eyes to the fact that you've been very productive. You will progress. I'm telling you, sometimes when you cannot provide, she will provide. So it's important to know the kind of person you're married. Yeah, because
it goes both ways.
Yes, all these things I'm saying now is dependent on where you finally go and end. Because if it's a crazy person,
you're in for it, right?
Because if, for instance, now it's an extravagant woman, somebody that really loves the good life, that probably cannot even buy one thing for herself, but solely depends on her spouse or man to buy, then you end up with that person. Baba, yes, life will go on, but you will suffer. You will suffer. So that's more like it.
Great. So we're wrapping up now. But there's something you said earlier that I had to take note of it. And like I said before we started, I said most of my sessions are usually learning moments for me. That's why I try to carry something to make notes with. You said something about saying no, and I want us to talk about it for
Yeah.
a minute. What? Why is it? I feel like saying no is one of the most difficult things to do,
Yeah.
and yet it is one of the most liberating
Sure.
things to do.
Yeah.
So I want you to speak on that for a minute.
Yeah.
You talked about growing up, you learned to say no, and then it became a part of you.
Yeah.
I want you to tell us more about that.
Oh, to be frank, Jim, until today, the saying no thing is still one of the most difficult things for me to do. I'm telling you. It's so difficult that, I've been saying yes to so much people that some people still call me like, say, this one Amugu. It's like, for me, it's say, Williams, don't worry, don't call her, Ingo just respond, Ingo do it. And yes, maybe 8 out of 10 times.
You will still say yes.
I will still say yes. It's so difficult to tell people no because of how I see people. Yeah. So I always want to help people. And so it has become, but I found out that the times I said no, it gave me a lot of peace.
Peace. True.
It gave me a lot of peace because I realized that because when people find out that you always give them a yes, they will always come back. And then if you fall in the hands of users, you're finished. I've experienced that before. So I had one client back then when I was bolting that would come to Port Harcourt and have me take him around everywhere, and you even go to the club, stay all through the night for how much? Almost a useless amount. And then I asked myself one day, why are you still working with this guy? The answer I got was, it is that me that likes to help people, like to be loyal to people, that was working for the man. Because most of the time I'll come back home and complain to my wife and say, hey God, this guy is suffering me and he's not paying me enough for it. I would do that, I would struggle, I'll still go back. In fact, I had to pray. I had to tell God to help me remove the guy from my life. And that's what God did for me. One of those times he came, he called me, I didn't go to meet him, and then he just stopped calling. He even went away with my money and my belt. Because he borrowed my belt to attend the meeting. He left the hotel and didn't carry his own belt. He borrowed my belt I just bought and didn't want to return it. He kept saying, Williams, you have good eye for belt too, and didn't return it. So I remember this because it was just the me that I am. You can imagine that when he was taking my belt, I could have told him, this belt no be your size, no be your type. But I still gave him. So that's the me, the yes me. But the very times I've said no to people, that's really helped me. And I'm still learning how to do that.
Yeah.
It is so, like you rightly said, it's so liberating when you tell people no, especially when you would do things, if it's not at your own convenience. Or if you have, because sometimes your yes will make you sacrifice so much. In fact, sometimes you don't get the sacrifice back. Like what you lose to giving, you don't ever get it back.
Yes.
And I've done that in the past. I've done it, and I've done it to friends. I remember a friend of mine, very dear friend to me, that we started a project. God gave him a vision about a company that would have been such a big break for most young people today. But that company didn't see the light of day because of the man that he was. That's how I look at it until he proves to me otherwise any day. But then I remember how I gave myself to that project, like 150% of me. Like I gave everything for that. And times where he will call me out for things that are very, discomforted, I will go. Because for me, I'm very loyal to friends. So that's where the yes thing will come in. Even on days where it's not really okay, you say, can you come out at this time? I will still come. So the heartbreaking part of that is when these people begin to show you that they can tell you no without thinking about it, while you can't. You begin to feel like, God, this guy, no rate me.
Yes,
it might not be that they don't rate you, it's just that they have mastered the art of saying no to you or to whoever. But you now, you're still struggling. So naturally, I'm still in that space. I'm still learning how to tell people, okay, I don't have the time. And then with family now, I have children, I have a wife, I have people that I'm totally responsible for. So it is now easy to tell you, oh yeah, I can't leave these people. I can't do that. But the younger me, Baba, if you tell me now, say, Williams, can we go to Aba this evening?
You don't enter road.
There's a high chance that I will consider it.
Wow.
I'm telling you, there's a high chance that I will consider going to Aba with you this evening. As far as you tell me that when we get there, I will not have to stress. There's a good place for me to sleep. I will go for free,
Anyway, I mean, I'll just quickly speak to that as well.
Yeah.
Like you rightly said, or like I mentioned earlier, saying no is so liberating.
It is
very, very liberating. And the sad reality is, people are users naturally. Humans are users. In fact, someone who will never believe that he or she will be a user, once he or she finds someone they can use, they will use that person.
I'm telling you.
Last. They won't even realize that that's what they are doing, because that is just who we are naturally.
Yeah.
But it is, the onus now lies on you, on me, to be able to say, you know what, this I can do, this I can do,
sure.
This I can't do.
Very true.
This I can't do. I can't do this. I can't go here. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Very true.
Because what happens is, you are priority. You need to treat yourself, take yourself as priority.
Sure.
And that's the only way it can work.
I'm telling you.
That's just,
I agree.
That's just basically
Totally.
it. And, thank you very much. Any final words? We're wrapping up now.
Well, I'm just going to talk to single people again. I will not let people rest until you do the needful. All of you that have dated for more than a year, what are you waiting for? Chima, you too follow. You too, you follow.
I'm the host here.
Okay, well, you will send the message to your team members. Get married. I think get married if you have a good woman, if you have a good man around you. I'm speaking more to the guys, because in our society, the women will not be able to take the bold step of getting married to the men on their own. Yeah. So I'm hoping that our society is growing to the level where young men will be able to take the bold step without fear. See, money is not all you need in the marriage. There's a lot more that happens in marriage beyond money. Like I said, once you can feed a mouth or two, go ahead and make that decision. And I bet you will not regret it. Now, I'm saying that to say that let's examine the issue of bearing kids. So if you ever have a plan, let me say this one too. If you ever have a plan that I will someday have kids, I think you should start early. Like me now, I don't want to be calling my age here, even though I said I'm in my early 40s. But then, my first daughter is just around 4 years old. So I will still be training that girl till I'm sometime in my 60s. Is that fair to me? And I have cousins that have kids that are of the same age with me, that have children that are almost in the university. And guess what? They got married when they didn't have one kobo. Today, now, they are very okay. So I feel that if you ever have plans to have kids, then get married, bear those children, have them, and while you grow financially. If you know, you also know what your dreams and aspirations are while you're chasing them. People will say the children will limit you. They say that a lot. Yeah. But that's why you're true. That's why you have family structures around you. There's no limitations to this thing. So yes, it slows you down, but it doesn't stop you. Is it not better that you're moving slowly than, Baba, you think you're fast. Okay, you finally make all the money. You are now 46. You marry one 25-year-old girl. You have your first child. Because most guys forget. They forget that they also get old. So they're always thinking, don't worry, I'll be 50, I can marry a 25-year-old. It's okay. You can marry a 25-year-old. But your first child now will now start when you're 45. You will train that child till you're 80. And guess what? Like my daughter will do. Sometimes she'll come and drag me, Daddy, let's play. And she will make me run around the house and I'll be panting. So you see, if I was much younger, I'd probably do more fun. I will not be panting. I'll be running and then do a lot more fun things. So I'm just saying that make that decision. I'm sure you will not regret it. I promise you will not regret it. Make the decision, marry. Chima, your own will be next year. We are moving. We are going to marry you out next year.
Oh my goodness.
And I bet you'll be glad you did make that decision. So that's my call for young people to get married early. If you have a good woman, have a good man. Make that decision.
Thank you very much. I hope you are happy now, because you have always been doing this, and then you decided to take this outside now.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Williams. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming out here.
Yeah.
And I had a great time on this conversation, and
Same
I believe
here.
my listeners and also those who will be watching on YouTube or any other platform will have an amazing time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.